OK, we're going to start, though, with the huge developments this evening around Yorkshire and their handling of the Azeem Rafiq case. After yet more sponsors, including kit supplier Nike, walked away from partnerships with the county today, the ECB has made its first public move. They've banned Yorkshire from hosting international cricket until further notice. It means, arguably, their biggest revenue stream is now removed. Here's a summary then of what's happened this evening. The ECB says the handling of issues raised by Rafiq has caused serious damage to the reputation of the game. They add that the actions and responses of the county to their own report represent a significant breach of its obligations to the game. As a result, the club is suspended from hosting major international matches. They were down to host a test against New Zealand on June the 23rd, I should say, next year, as well as a one-day international against South Africa on July the 24th. Now, Gary Ballance, who yesterday admitted having used a racial slur towards Rafiq in their earlier years together at Yorkshire, is also addressed. They say he is suspended indefinitely from selection for England, but given he hasn't played for his country since 2017, it begs the question about whether he'll be able to play for his county. Now, as the cricket world digests the news, Azeem Rafiq has responded to the ECB's comments. He said this: "I note the statement from the ECB. I need a little time to reflect on what the ECB has said this evening and the actions they're proposing to take. I will not be commenting further at this time." In the last few minutes, the DCMS committee chair, Julian Knight MP, has said this: the ECB's action in taking international cricket away from Yorkshire should act as a short, sharp shock to bring the club to its senses. Like the rest of us, I imagine the members of Yorkshire County Cricket Club will be questioning why the board is still in place. As for Mr Ballance, I'm choosing at this time not to comment on the specifics of the case. However, it would have been completely unacceptable if they had left him eligible for selection for the England cricket team. Now, our reporter, James Cole, has been across this from the start, quite frankly, haven't you, James? So, look, first of all, how damaging is this tonight for Yorkshire?
Financially, hugely damaging. The ECB have played their trump card effectively in their hands at the moment. Now, international cricket, just to give you an idea, in 2019, Yorkshire's accounts showed that international cricket, the ticket sales and the hospitality brought in over £10 million. Now, you compare that with the commercial income, which includes sponsorship, that was just over £3 million. So we've seen all these sponsors parting ways with Yorkshire. The latest today, Nike, one of their biggest, but actually that revenue is tiny in comparison to what international cricket can bring to the club. So they won't be hosting, as it stands, next summer. They got the test against New Zealand. They got a one-day international against South Africa. They've also got the 100 final, and then the following summer they're supposed to be hosting an Ashes test as well. Well, as it stands, if Yorkshire don't do something drastically, they're going to lose millions and millions of pounds, tens of millions, possibly hundreds of millions in the long run. Now, the ECB are saying to the Yorkshire board, act now. They're forcing them into a corner, and they're saying, the Yorkshire board meet tomorrow. They're saying you need to act, do something quickly, or you're in trouble.
So what happens now then, James? What happens next?
Well, in terms of the ECB investigation, that is ongoing. The Rafiq investigation has been handed to the Cricket Disciplinary Committee. Now, they work at arm's length from the ECB. They hold legal hearings. They hear from both parties, from all parties. They also have extensive powers. In terms of individuals, they can issue lifetime bans. In terms of clubs, they could dock Yorkshire points and relegate them as well to add to the financial implications that we're talking about. And that's the ECB investigation. They've also, the ECB has asked its executive to commission a review into Yorkshire's board to see if they're fit for purpose. So that's ongoing as well. But of course, in 2 weeks' time, there is this DCMS hearing, this committee hearing, where Rafiq will give evidence under parliamentary privilege, so he won't be bound by any fears of legal retribution. He can name people, he can give all sorts of details. And from that, potentially, we could then be seeing more disciplinary action, because if Rafiq is forced to name other individuals and more detail comes out, then the ECB will have to act again.
OK, brilliant stuff. Thank you for bringing us right up to date with that.